Evening. Quick chat about inspection. So it's a bit techy. So if you are not interested in that side, then that's absolutely fine. Skip along or delete. For I've always had a slightly different take on inspection to well, pretty much every organisation I've ever worked with, and I've always had to try and change the thinking because there's sort of two ways of looking at it in terms of I, as the expert coach, can go down and I can tell them everything I know and hope they take it in. And that's to kind of put all the information into a box style and then hope that that information remains. From experience, that doesn't really work. Because if I sort of shepherd the kids down, then the whole learning process is then done at my speed, and it's not done at the child or the athlete's speed. So I've always advocated that inspection is not about what I tell them, it's about what they see. So there's a few tactical things that we do. We always make sure that we inspect on the actual line. So they should be sliding down the course on the line, eyes down the way. And then the next thing is that they should be, they look back up in order to check that they've remembered it right. We talk a little bit about in training about trying to remember things in chunks. So maybe 6 gates into hairpin, 3 gates vertically. So they've had exposure to that, but that's still something that they're still going to learn. And you need quite a lot of races and practice in course inspection to get really good at that. That makes it very easy to learn. To remember courses. I mean, for years and years after I stopped racing, if you named a resort, I could probably still tell you the course. So it becomes something that you get better and better and better at remembering it. So the way that we will try to support them is to make sure that they know that the course inspection is about them. So I'm not going to be leading them down. You will see other teams up there with the coach, and the coach will be telling them a whole story about how they should be skiing this gate and that gate. With us, we've already done the prep in order to make sure that when we're on the course that they're looking at the right thing. Okay, we've got a couple of really young ones, and that's a slightly different approach, but certainly from Killian upwards, then I'm quite happy for them to be that judge. They certainly do it every time in training. So my role, our role, becomes making sure that they've seen the things that they should have seen, that we check that, and then if we do course reports, then we keep them very concise, so no more than 3 points. That would be different to what we'd actually looked at in inspection. Otherwise, it's as we've inspected. So just, I guess I'm asking for understanding in terms of it looks different, we operate differently, but there is an awful lot of thought behind that, and it works because over time that's what they have to do. They have to translate their own inspection, what they've remembered, into getting it right first time, and that is what makes a fast ski racer. So they do make mistakes. That's part of the journey. When they make mistakes, we want to try and learn from them. And if they get it right, we want to understand why they got it right. So that's a bit of the tech chat for inspection. We'll do things like let them know the distances, because we always measure the gates so we know exactly how far it is. And ideally we try and get through the course. So we've actually looked at the course before course inspection opens. That's us, the coaches, so then we can give them better information during course inspection. So sort of thing like, there's only one turn that you really need to be aware of. Everything else you can go as hard as you can. It's one of my favorite bits of race day, and our job is there to support them and make sure that they're looking at the right things.